In today's world, where anxiety and victimhood seem to be everywhere, courage is something a lot of us are missing. Think about it. How many things would you have done by now if only you had more courage? How many times have you let yourself down by giving in to fear instead of making a move that could have changed your life for the better? But here's the thing, just because we've been stuck in fear before doesn't mean our future has to look the same. Courage isn't something you either have or you don't. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned. And the foundation of that skill lies in how we deal with our emotions. To truly act with courage, we have to stop treating uncomfortable emotions like they're stop signs. Instead, we need to learn how to move forward with fear, anxiety, guilt, or shame right there with us. In this video, we're going to look at a few tools and techniques that can help us build this kind of relationship with our emotional world. But first, we need to talk about what emotions actually do in our lives and figure out the difference between healthy emotions and the ones that hold us back. This understanding is key to seeing why most people's emotional habits lead to fear and hesitation, and why we need a better way. Michael Mahoney once wrote that emotions are vital. They guide our focus, shape how we see the world, help us remember, and push us to keep learning and growing through life. Still, throughout history, from Plato onward, emotions have often been labeled as wild animal instincts that get in the way of clear thinking. But that view only tells half the story. Emotions, when they work the way they're supposed to, actually help us adapt and survive. They show us what matters, what's good or bad, and often react faster than our logical brain. And while all emotions can teach us something, it's usually the toughest ones that teach us the most. Fear warns us of danger. Anxiety can tell us when something's not right in our lives. Guilt and shame point out when we've gone against our own values. Or as Leslie Greenberg puts it in emotion-focused therapy, emotions work like fast-moving radar. They scan the situation, give us feedback about how we're reacting, and help us gear up to take the right action. So in short, emotions aren't just survival tools, they're the keys to thriving. But here's the problem. Most of us deal with what experts call maladaptive emotions. These are the emotions that spiral out of control and, instead of helping us take positive action, trick us into doing things that hurt our well-being. As Greenberg points out, these emotional responses stop being helpful. They don't guide us through tough situations. They mess with our ability to function in a healthy way. These responses usually come from deeply learned patterns tied to past, often painful, experiences. Maladaptive emotions are like little saboteurs in our minds. They're the root of so many struggles, phobias, constant anxiety, bursts of anger, deep depression, and guilt or shame that's completely out of proportion. And most people try to deal with these painful emotions in one of two ways. Either they try to reason with them or they try to shut them down. But both of these strategies actually work against building real courage. They treat uncomfortable emotions like enemies to be erased before we take action. And what's worse, neither of these approaches really works over time. Let's look at why reasoning with emotions usually fails. A lot of people, when they realize their fears or anxieties don't make logical sense, try to argue with those feelings. They hope that by using logic, they can shut down the emotion and get back on track. But the truth is, emotions don't usually respond to logic. A strong emotion can easily overpower our rational thinking, while a logical thought almost never drowns out an intense emotional reaction. As the poet Alexander Pope once said, whatever your main emotion is, whatever your ruling passion, it will usually win over reason in the end. So when logic doesn't work, people often try the second method, pushing emotions away. The hidden cost of emotional suppression. If we can't think our way past a feeling, maybe we can just block it out. And while this might seem to work in the short term, it comes at a big cost. Psychologist Alexander Lowen in Fear of Life explains that when you suppress a feeling, you don't actually get rid of it. You just push it deeper into your unconscious. And when you do that, you turn the issue inward and carry the emotional weight with you. When we bottle up emotions, their effects don't disappear, they just show up in different ways. Instead of feeling our anger directly, it might show up as tight muscles or painful migraines. Instead of facing anxiety head-on, we might deal with stomach problems or restless nights, and the worst part? Suppression gives us a brand new excuse to stay stuck. We may not feel the emotion as strongly anymore, but now we're dealing with the physical symptoms it caused, and those become our latest reason not to move forward. So instead of saying, I need to conquer my fear before I act, we now say, I need to fix my health first. So what's the better approach? If trying to reason with painful emotions doesn't work, and stuffing them down just makes things worse, how are we supposed to handle these feelings? One powerful method is something called emotional labeling. Emotional labeling means noticing what we're feeling and, rather than fighting it or pushing it away, just acknowledging it and naming it. We tell ourselves, I'm feeling anxious. This is fear. I'm feeling anger right now. It might sound simple, maybe even too easy, but science backs it up. Studies show that naming an emotion can actually make it feel less intense. As Greenberg explains, research has increasingly shown that putting our emotions into words helps reduce the emotional charge. Just the act of labeling a feeling helps bring down the emotional arousal. Once we've named the emotion, we can then figure out if it's useful or not. If it's an adaptive emotion, that means it's trying to help, and we should listen to it and take action. But if it's maladaptive, then the best thing we can do is go against what it's telling us. That's how we turn unhealthy emotions into fuel for courage. Instead of running from what makes us uncomfortable, we move toward it. The trick is to start small. Make a list of simple, doable steps that slowly expose you to what you fear. Then take one small step every day that stretches your comfort zone just a little further. When difficult emotions show up, name them, allow them, and keep moving forward anyway. Over time, you'll start to realize that these feelings don't hold the same power over you, and even if they don't completely go away, you'll come to understand that uncomfortable emotions don't have to run your life. That's when you've learned the real meaning of courage. Like Mark Twain once said, courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. But to really master fear, we also need to dig into the powerful connection between the body and the mind. That's exactly what we'll dive into in the next video. As Carl Jung once wrote, the enigmatic oneness of the living organism has as its corollary the fact that bodily traits are not merely physical, nor mental traits merely psychic. So if you're serious about gaining control over your emotions and building real courage, be sure to subscribe and stick around for the next episode. If this sparked something in you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Nexphilo journey, where we dive deep into the mind, emotions, and everything that makes us human. New videos every week to help you grow stronger from the inside out.